What's something that you've learned in your travels? Like, what's been like the most important lesson you've learned in your travels?
I don't learn anything from my travel because I wasn't there to learn anything. I had learned before I went to travel. I learned my lesson before because I knew a lot of stuff. That's why I went. I didn't go to learn anything, you know. They took out a definition of learning, like what? Something I didn't know before?
Yeah, like a life lesson, something like you've taken away from your trip to France.
I knew all those life lessons before I went. I wasn't a gone there. You kidding? Try having someone try to bug you in a foreign language, and that's really something else. And they want to get back home, or they short of money, and they decide they're gonna, you'll be the victim. But I'm a New Yorker. I can't be your victim. I can't be your victim.
Legacy Calls is a project dedicated to celebrating the stories of seniors. It all started years ago when I had this project that I was working on, and I asked my grandmother to be a part of it, and I recorded this 30-minute interview with her about her life story. Back when Stephanie and Delilah and I were a lot younger, we would come eat lunch with you.
Yeah.
Do you remember any stories from when we used to come and visit?
I said, Delilah. I mean, he's one of the top officers in the company.
And then when my grandmother passed away, I found the video and I watched it and I was like, wow, this is crazy that I have this conversation with my grandmother, and it's not a voicemail. It's not some obscure piece of media. It's my grandmother in her own voice telling her story. And that video inspired me to call up the seniors in my family and get their story. Hence, Legacy Calls. Fast forward to today, through Town Hall and Project Find, I was given the opportunity to collaborate with Zoe Watkins and bring Legacy Calls to Woodstock Senior Center right here in Times Square. Together, Zoe and I took Legacy Calls and took it from its early stages of being this traditional Q&A program to turning it into this immersive theatrical experience. What's about to happen?
Right, so we're about to do a scene. It's Justin's pivotal moment from his life. I'm going to play young Justin before he became a pastor. And older Justin, what have I got to look forward to?
Better days. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. It looks like we're all in the dark now. But as we all know, if we're in the Lincoln Tunnel, you don't stay there forever. You won't get out somewhere along the line. You're going to get out of that tunnel. I don't care how many traffic jam they got. Somewhere along the line, you're going to get out of the tunnel and you're going to see some light.
I could tell you about Zoe, but it would be way better if Zoe told you about Zoe. Can you talk about the aspect that you brought to Legacy
Yeah,
Call?
so I've been a teaching artist for Town Hall for a while, for a few years. Okay. And I've done a couple of projects here, and I'm a theatre artist. That's what I do. Mm-hmm. I've done previous projects here with senior citizens whereby I got them to talk about various different projects, or we were talking about the neighborhood, what the neighborhood was like back in the day, or like what Times Square was like in various different decades or like what New York was like. And we've enacted those things. We've created pieces of theatre around them. So you're going to be standing here. Mm-hmm. So see how he's standing? Yeah. Right, can you kind of do that? Okay. Like the creative part of it for me is really important. Yeah. That there's a creative outlet for people.
Speaking of creative, talk about Coney Island.
Oh, that was a good one too. Yeah. That was early as well.
Yeah, that was really early where we were like still getting to know one another.
Yeah.
But I think that was one of those moments where I was like, I like where this is going.
Yeah, you know what? You jumped in the back of that roller coaster car next to me and I was like, we're going to be all right.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're taking a left. We're taking a left.
A left?
Oh.
We're going this way.
We're going right. We're going up again. We're going up again.
We're going down.
I love that.
No, yeah, because we were just going to be in it. And the four of us, it was me, you, Peter, and Pat. And so, like, at one point, Pat got so into it, he was like, oh, my stomach. What did you think of the roller coaster?
That was great. Very exciting. You know, you feel like you're going to die, and you survive, and everything is cool. It's just a lot of fun.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy, it was a lot of
If there
fun
isn't
for you.
the element of fear in it,
Fear, boy.
what's the point?
Pat, what was your thoughts on it?
Oh, it was the scariest thing I've ever been in. And then I was getting sick as well. I was so sick and everything. I don't know how you can be so calm in a situation like that, you know.
We're having fun.
We were.
And so again, like, it's kind of hard to just dial that in and just treat things like a template when you're really
Right.
going to act like you're on a roller coaster.
Yeah, but that was the gateway to being able to talk about their youths
Uh-huh.
and their experience as young men
Yeah.
at those kind of things.
Yeah.
I went on a ride somewhere where you're in a teacup kind of arrangement, and the cup would spin around, and then the floor would fall down, and you were going so fast you're pinned against the wall. And we go about half a turn, and the guy next to me says, "Stop the wheel, stop the ride, I'm going to get sick." Oh, great, the guy's next to me is going to throw up all over me because I was going too fast to move. He said, "No, you feel fine. Don't think about it. Think about a garden. And I just tried to take his mind off it. Last thing I wanted for this guy to throw up all over me.
Did he?
But no, I talked him out of it.
And then from all of this, we would get a lot of hidden talent.
Yeah.
You know, so say like Maggie and her songs.
Hold me close and hold me fast. This is the magic that you weave. This is love beyond roses.
Or Jimmy. You know, Jimmy, when he first came to class, he was like, I don't wanna, he was very shy. I don't want to. And then next thing we know,
He's singing Louis Armstrong.
I see trees are green, red rosy too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Something like that. Yeah.
Very good.
some of my favorite moments would be listening to Pat recite poetry.
Well, I do have one of my favorite poems, and you may never have heard of this poet. She was British. She died very young. Her name was Sarah Williams. As a matter of fact, I put it on my my wife's memory card when she died, you know. And it goes like this. Though my soul may set in darkness, it will rise in perfect light. I have loved the stars too fondly to be fearful of the night.
Just listening to Pastor Justin's voice, I mean, this deep bravado.
I tell people all the time, when you do something you like, it's never a job.
Yeah.
You understand? If you don't like what you're doing and you're doing it for money, you're going to be a miserable person.
Yeah.
I enjoy preaching. I enjoy painting. I'm a painter by profession. I paint houses, I paint anything. The bottom line is, because I enjoy doing what I do. So when I go and paint somebody's apartment, I don't look at it as a job. Because I enjoy to see when I finish, I say, wow, that look good. When I go and give the word of God, I change people's lives. I don't look at it as a job, and it's not a job. Because I enjoy what I do.
James. I love the way James tells stories. The ones that he's written, as well as his personal stories. He always had this look in his eye. James was kind, but it was very intense. You could look at James and know that old statement of still waters run deep. That's James. Is there something where was a pinnacle moment in your life where a major change happened?
Well, I think in stories, so I'll tell you in a story.
Okay, cool.
When I was in court, my own sister tried to put my mother into a nursing home so she could sell the house out from under her. She was a real estate person. And she actually hired lawyers and took me to court to get guardianship of my mother. And I was in the courtroom. My mother had Alzheimer's, so she had to be in the court with me. Or otherwise I would have adult protective services on my ass. You know, that's how tight it was. And the only way that my sister's lawyers could get my mother out of my care was to attack my character, say that I wasn't fit to take care of my own mother. So I'm listening to this bullshit, and the judge looks at me, and I said, Your Honor, none of these lawyers ever talked to me or my mother. They don't know me. They don't know my mother. They're yapping like this because my sister's stuffing $100 bills in their pockets, right? Judge looks at this, the court goes silent, and my mother's in the back of the courtroom. She says, Give him hell, Jimmy, give him hell. So that was the bright spot of that. But having to go to court to prove you can take care of your own mother was fucked. And that doesn't go away.
No. And sometimes I felt it was important for us just to stop and honour that. And I think a couple of times I say, can we just honour the fact that you told that story?
Yeah.
And that was really a big thing.
Yep.
And that might be a bit pretentious, but I do think it's important as well that when people do lay out these big things that they say sometimes, that we acknowledge that that's a big thing that they've just said and it was brave.
I do this photo series called Visual Voices where I write on these labels and then I go out into the street and I take a picture of the label and then I use the photos to prompt conversations. And we brought those into the session and it brought out some great stories. One of them, which was a story that James told us about his friend Brian in Bryant Park.
Well, I didn't go back to the park, and I heard that Brian had come back to the park later, and he just started cursing and spitting at the cops for trying to control him, really, and so that's the last I ever heard of him.
So the photography begat the story, and then Zoe, when she heard the story, she's like, we should act this out.
First scene is going to be this James's story, right? So, what would you like to be? Or would you like to direct it?
I'll direct it.
Great.
And then Zoe played Brian, and then I played the security guard that was in that story who was going back and forth, kind of like a conflict with Brian. Good thing for me was like to see James get a kick out of Zoe acting it out and then me getting her all riled up, and we're just kind of improvising and playing off each other.
You just want me to be mad?
Yeah, but I'm like, whatever I say, you can just go for it.
Okay.
Brian is not really mad at them. He's just like, you're so fucking stupid. It's unbelievable.
Okay, cool.
You know?
Thank you.
Dude, I wasn't trying to cause any trouble.
Dude, you're stupid.
I wasn't trying. I was just saying that there's a certain way you should act in a park like this.
Who are you to tell me how to act, man?
This is Bryant Park.
Dude,
Now we're cooking.
shut the f*** up. Who the f*** are you to tell me what to do?
I really need you to calm down because
Don't tell me to calm down,
you're
man.
making a lot
I
of
tell you to
noise.
calm down. Don't you tell me to calm
I
down.
don't want you to disturb the ping pong players.
What? Who the hell are they? It doesn't matter. I can do what I want. It's the park.
They're concentrating. You're making this. New York is a quiet place, and you should.
What? New York is a quiet place? Who the hell are you, man?
What has been your takeaway from this experience?
One of my big takeaways is even though there might be a plan, one doesn't have to stick to it rigidly.
Yeah. And we're still going to check the boxes.
Absolutely.
But we're not here to check boxes. We're here to follow directions and make sure everybody gets what they want.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like we were here to be here fully and immerse ourselves.
To be present in a room together
Yeah.
with other people.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, and I think the discrimination day was really evident of that.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at that video of the discrimination day, the group is all so in it together, all of us. Mm-hmm. And there were 5 or 6 of us that day, and everyone was really, really in the room.
Yeah.
And in a supportive way. No one was combative. Nobody was against each other.
No.
Even if someone had a different point of view, everybody was very much in the room together to explore.
So have you ever been discriminated against, Peter?
Oh, yeah.
Talk about it.
A lot of black people discriminate against white people.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not very religious, and a lot of religious people discriminate against non-religious people.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard someone talking about the Bible. And I said, well, the Bible was written thousands of years ago, it really doesn't apply to me. And he starts screaming, "You're evil! You're evil!" I felt threatened.
I would too. Even if I was reading the Bible while he said it. Whoa, brother. Let's get this guy a Snickers.
But I'm going to say something that might surprise you.
Okay.
It may not surprise him, but I may say something that will surprise you.
Okay,
And you'll say, really?
Surprise me.
You know the biggest discrimination I've ever faced right here in the United States? It was not by white people. It was like people like me. So happened to be black American, black people.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
I'm shocked.
I am blown away, Pastor Justin. Mostly because I know colorism exists.
Went to live in Kenya for a bit and to work with a non-profit, and all the kids would run around town and they would shout Mzungu, Mzungu, and sometimes you would hear Mzungu, and other times you'd hear Mzungu, and it meant white person, and sometimes it was cool, and other times it was not cool, like to be in that place. Like sometimes people wanted you to be there, and sometimes people didn't want you to be there.
And when we were kids, if you came in our block and took our stuff in our baseball bats and stuff like that, we went back in your neighborhood and got our stuff. Now, how do you think we got? You think we got it through ice cream cone? We got our stuff. That's how it was. So even now, when I'm out late, some guy will say something to me and I don't laugh. I says, "You better get out of my face, you freak." Now, that's not Maggie. But he goes. I don't even bother with you anyway. See? He get out of my face because I grew up in New York, and that's just the way that we react. Otherwise, he'll stand there and challenge me, and what can I do? But I'm not afraid. That's what I was. We're not afraid. Mm-hmm. See, your friends are afraid of what they hear, what they see about New York. I'm not afraid of New York. I'm going to be afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you.
I ain't afraid of you either, man.
If I got a bottle of soda, I will finish my soda, and then I will try to use it if you bother me. But I wasn't made that way. I'm not made to be pushed around like that.
I think that's a trait of living in New York.
I think so.
Of course it is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you know what? It keeps me on the street. It helps me go where I want to go. When I'm on the Lower East Side,
fear.
when I need a bus, I can walk from 10th Street all the way down to 2nd Street on 2nd Avenue, and I have no fear. Hey, Ma, what you doing out here late? I said, who asked you to ask me? You know? Always got, and they just go.
To your point, James, and to your point, Justin, it's context, it's environments, and these places that we go. Today we're talking about going to different places and journeys, and it doesn't always have to be like out of the country to a different state, borough to borough, neighborhood to neighborhood. You got to keep your wits about you, but at the same time, you still can't live this life in doom and gloom and think the whole world is against you. Otherwise, you just have a bad day all the time.
But I wanted to say, I've donated blood a lot. And when they take your blood, they put it in, that plastic bag thing, and they write your blood type and the date and stuff like that. Nowhere on that do they say your race. Because your race doesn't matter for blood. I could give blood to you, you could give blood to me. We have the same blood. This would mean it's the right type and all that. But your race has nothing to do with your blood.
I think it's a success because we aim to have a creative community, right? Mm-hmm. Because we know that a creative community feeds people.
Yes.
Not physically, but spiritually, intellectually, whatever, that it feeds people, that we can be together as a creative community, feeding off of one another, working together, learning, educating, doing whatever. And I think this little group has become that. And that takes time to build. It doesn't happen just overnight. And it takes
authenticity, and being fully present and immersed in the experiments and committed. Otherwise, it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
You can't dial it in.
So I hope that's what you and I have done for participants, and I hope that's the way they feel, that they've been nourished by this experience somehow.
Absolutely.
That they've been able to tell story, but that they've also been able to hear story.
I think that's it.
And create.
I think you nailed it. I think not a word was wasted.
That's so
So
rare.
let's close it out.
Amon, you're a superstar.
You're a superstar. I appreciate you.
I've
Thank
loved
you.
working with you
this
so
has been
much.
An extraordinary experience.
Yeah,
and
let's do it again.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it again.
Shout out to Project Fine. Shout
Yeah.
out to
Town Hall.
Town Hall. Thank you for, we
Yeah.
sincerely appreciate this
Yeah.
experience. And Woodstock, of course. All the
Woodstock.
folks at Woodstock, because
Yeah.
they've been, very helpful, and everybody. So,
Yeah. And we really genuinely hope that you enjoy watching their work, and people at Woodstock, we hope that you've enjoyed doing the work.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, we're out of here.
Peace.
Peace.